So you've been swimming maybe 3 or 4 times per week for months, maybe a year, maybe 2, and you're still getting exhausted after 200 meters. And maybe probably someone told you just swim more laps. Wrong. That's the worst advice I hear constantly. And I'm going to show you exactly why this is keeping you stuck and what to actually do instead. Honestly, the mistake number 4 is the one that makes me literally throw my kickboard across the pool because it's so backwards. Hi, I'm Alex Coci, I'm a former Olympic swimmer, and by now I work with thousands of self-taught adult swimmers. The thing is here is that I see this in new members. You've been told that swimming is about cardio. Just do more volume, more laps, more time in the pool. And let me tell you something, that's a rubbish advice. Now here is what actually happens. You get more tired, your technique falls apart, you reinforce that bad habits, and then you plateau hard. Then you think you need more volume. But this is just a cycle that's keep taking the, honestly. So I had this adult guy years ago and he was swimming 5 times a week. 5 times. Absolutely knackered after each session. He couldn't swim more than 300 meters continuously. And he was telling to me, yeah Alex, but I'm fit, but I don't know what's going on. Basically, he thought that he needed better fitness. Nope. He needed better technique and smarter training. Eventually, we fixed this in about 6 weeks or so. Eventually, he was swimming 2 kilometers by now, training 3 times a week and not 5 times a week. By the end of this video, you'll understand that why volume is not your problem. Probably, I mean, if you actually apply this stuff. I'm covering 4 massive mistakes people make whenever they follow just swim more advice. Each one keeps you stuck. Each one has a specific fix that makes swimming significantly easier. Now these are the same principles that I teach in my premium coaching inside Ocean Swim School. Most adults never figure this out because everyone is telling them to do more and more laps. Oh yeah, and near the end I'm gonna show you the training principle that honestly changed the way I approach coaching entirely. I use this with probably 500 adult swimmers by now and works every single time. Anyways, let's get back to why swimming more is a terrible advice. Mistake number 1. More volume with bad technique just makes you better at swimming badly. And I'll say it again. More volume with bad technique just makes you better at swimming badly. Now let's say that your catch is slipping. Your hand slides forward or outside instead of actually grabbing the water properly. Every single length you swim, you practice that slip. You do 50 lengths, that's 50 lengths of reinforcing wrong movement patterns. Your body learns what you repeat, not what you intend. So what you actually doing? I see this constantly, probably 90% of self-taught adult swimmers. They swim 2,000 meters or 2,000 yards with terrible technique and they wonder why they're not improving. This is like basically you're practicing piano with the wrong finger position for hours. You're just getting really good at playing wrong. And why does this thing happen? Because swimming feels hard. So you think, I need more fitness. It makes sense, no? But the real reason why it feels hard is that your technique is inefficient. More volume doesn't fix your efficiency. It just exhausts you more. And the fix? Technique first. Always. Not swim until you're exhausted. Swim until your technique is breaking down, then you stop. And that's your working threshold. Now here is how to do this. On your next session, swim a 50, focusing on one technical element. Let's say your head position. Make sure you have neutral spine, looking at the bottom of the pool. If you can maintain this perfectly for 50 meters or 50 yards, do another 50. If your head lifts, your hips will drop, and you're basically starting to fight the water. You need to stop here and rest. That's your technical threshold. Most adult swimmers can do about 200-400 meters before the technique is falling apart. And that's fine. Training at that distance with good technique. Basically, don't push to 1,000 meters with terrible form. Something to keep in mind, perfect practice, not more practice. Do 650s with 20 seconds rest. That should be enough. The focus here is to maintain technique the entire set. Speed does not matter yet. And if your technique holds, add more distance next week. And if it breaks, stay 50 meters and drill more. The 52-week program that I have in Premium structured this progression properly. Starts with the technique building, then adds volume only whenever the form is actually solid. But this is a technique threshold concept and it's your starting point. That alone probably saves you months of wasted training. Now let's move on to the mistake number 2. Swimming the same pace for the same distance does not improve anything. So here is what happens. You swim 1,000 meters at comfortable pace every single session. Same speed, same distance, same rest. Then your body adapts to that exact stimulus. Then you stop improving. Basically, you plateau really hard. Why? Because swimming is not just aerobic endurance. It's also technique endurance, lactate threshold, sprint power, and breathing capacity. If you only train one speed, you only develop one energy system. This is like trying to go to the gym and then you lift every single day 10 kilos, dumbbells, forever. At this point, you need the progressive overload, different intensities, different challenges. And I see this with maybe 70% of adult swimmers. They find a comfortable pace and just stay there for month after month, maybe a year or two. Then they get frustrated because nothing happens and nothing changes. So let me tell you a quick story. So in London, between my coaching sessions in the afternoon, I used to go there and swim. Then go to the gym before actually starting my afternoon coaching session. There was this triathlete that came every single day in the pool. All he was doing, he was putting his goggles, there was no pre-pool warm-up, goggles on, cap on, jump in the water, swim for about an hour. So at one point I realized that this person has basically the same routine. So one day I swam in the same lane as him and eventually he finished the training after an hour or so. And then I asked him, are you training for anything? And then he told me that he is actually training for Ironman. So every day basically he was swimming 2K, he swam 2K every single session at the same pace. The exact same pace. And then whenever I asked him more about his triathlon and his racing in general, he actually told me that his bike and run were improving, but he was stuck at swimming. And then I was like, no wonder. Of course he was stuck at swimming because every single day he had one speed, he had no structure, anything, jump in, jump out, and that's it. Now how do we fix this? Train different energy systems in different sessions. So for example, on Monday you can do technique focus, low volume, perfect form, and drills. On Wednesday, for example, you do intervals, you push your pace and build some lactate tolerance. On Friday, you do endurance, longer steady swims at moderate effort. Now here are some oversimplified sets that you can actually put together into your own swimming session. On Monday, whenever we have technique, do 850s, for example, single arm freestyle with 20 seconds rest. The focus here is on the perfect catch position. On a Wednesday, you do the intervals training, right? And then you're doing 6 times 100 meters at 80% effort with 30 seconds rest. Make sure that you hold your technique while you're pushing your pace. On Friday, you do 800 meters continuous at 60 to 70% effort. Focus here on relaxed and sustainable technique. And this, like I said, is oversimplified, but there are different stimulus for each session. Your body has to adapt to multiple demands. Make sure you do some sort of polarization. You don't go just 80%. Some days you go 90% or 100% and you do a bit more shorter distances. Your body has to adapt to those multiple demands. And that's actually how we break through plateaus. Oh, and if you're training 5 or 6 times per week with no variety, cut that into 3 sessions with proper structure. You will actually improve faster, trust me. Mistake number 3, swimming every day with no rest days. Let me tell you something. Your body does not improve during training. It improves during your recovery. So basically, training is your stimulus and recovery is when the adaptation actually happens. Now let me give you an example. If you swim 7 days a week, you're constantly breaking down the muscles without giving actually time to rebuild it stronger. Basically, you're accumulating fatigue, your technique gets worse, and your motivation drops. Basically, you're burning out. And I've seen this loads amount of time. Someone starts swimming, gets super enthusiastic, go every single day for about 2 to 3 months, he completely loses interest because they're actually knackered and not seeing any results. Why? Because there is no recovery. Look, I was an Olympic swimmer and we trained 10 times per week, plus another 3 sessions of gym, plus another jog on Saturdays after training. But we also had recovery protocols. I could get basically a massage every single day if I wanted. We did stretching after training. I've done ice baths, ice packs after single session. The sleep was optimized. I had access to loads amount of vitamins. The nutrition was spot on, and so on and so on. Most adult swimmers are training probably about 2 to 5 times per week with none of that. Basically, you're working full time, you're dealing with stress, sleep maybe, who knows, 6 to 7 hours if you're lucky, then you're hitting the pool exhausted. This is not sustainable. Less is sometimes more. And the fix here, do only 3 or 4 sessions per week maximum, with at least 1 full recovery day between those sessions. Now here is the proper structure, again, super simplified. Monday you swim, Tuesday you rest, or you can do a light dry land, stretching, mobility and so on. Wednesday you swim, Thursday full rest, Friday swim, Saturday and Sunday rest, or maybe an optional easy swim, maybe a jog or whatever you want to do. And that's it. 3 solid sessions with recovery actually beats 7 mediocre sessions with accumulated fatigue every single time. And honestly, if you're over 40 years old, you might need even more recovery. You'll probably need to go 2-3 times per week with 2 full rest days in between. So something to keep in mind, that rest is also training. The premium plans into my ocean swim schools that are actually built on that. Sustainable, progressive, and effective. Please check them out. And mistake number 4, and this one makes me go bananas because I get this every single day for loads amount of times a day. So you assume that your fitness is your problem when it's actually the technique. So here is the reality. Most swimmers get exhausted because of 1. They have terrible breathing mechanics, they are holding their breath, they panic breathing, and they have a late timing. Or 2. They have a weak catch, their hands are slipping, basically are not grabbing the water. 3. They have poor body position, the head is up, the hips are down, and their hips are dragging all over the pool. It's not the cardio. You could have an amazing cardiovascular fitness and still get exhausted after 100 meters if your technique is inefficient. Because inefficient technique requires more energy per stroke. So fix the technique first, and suddenly swimming will feel much more easier. Not because of your fitness improved, but because you're actually working smarter. And how do we fix this? Basically, you need to identify what's your actual limiter. Not what you think it is, but what your actually is. So film yourself swimming, seriously. Get someone to film you for 50 meters from the side of the pool, maybe the underwater, obviously, if it's possible. Now, what you should look for? Are you looking forward? If you do, that's a body position problem. If your hands are slipping forward on your entry, that's a catch problem. Are you lifting your head whenever you breathe? And that's a breathing problem. Now fix the biggest one first. Don't try to do everything at once. Inside the Ocean Swim School, the video analysis lets you upload the footage and I will break it down to you and we're gonna find what's your actual limiter. Most people are actually shocked to see their stroke. Oh, that's why I'm exhausted, right? Self-awareness here is everything. You can fix something that you cannot see. So if you stop following just swim more advice and actually train smart, here are what changes you're going to make. You're going to swim with less effort, your breathing gets easier because now you're not fighting the drag, you'll actually improve instead of staying stuck at the same level for months. And honestly, the best one, the confidence shift, is actually massive. And do you remember that feeling where every single length feels like a survivor? Okay, that goes away whenever your technique is efficient and your training is structured properly. And if you're still watching, you're ahead most of the swimmers out there. Most people keep doing more volume and they're hoping that something changes. You're actually learning these principles behind that improvement, and that's what it matters. Now picture yourself 8 weeks from now swimming maybe 800 to 1000 meters continuously without feeling destroyed. And that's exactly what we're going after. Smart training beats more training every single time. Join my Ocean Swim School if you want more structured progression. The free community has loads amount of resources, also get you to monthly video analysis where I break down your stroke specifically and tell you exactly what you need to train on. Now it's $39 a month, it might be different in the future. Link below. Drop a comment if you're gonna cut the volume and you're gonna focus on technique this week. And tell me what you have been changing. I read every single comment honestly. And if this thing helped, then hit the like button, subscribe for more weekly tips just like this because I post every single week. Ring the bell as well. But all these changes from this video would not work out if you don't watch my next video. And that's it. See you in the pool.